What are you most excited about right now?
Most excited about the level of growth I expect next year. By this time next year, that's December. Pretty much just because I know that if I pick whatever goal I have in mind and I just use my daily actions to make sure I'm working towards that goal.
You're listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show, where we believe in today's fast-paced world, investing in your overall well-being is the most important decision you can make. Join us alongside a variety of guests as we discuss topics empowering you to become the best version of yourself. Enjoy.
Peace, and life's richest blessings, and welcome back to the Soul Alignment series. We spent the first part of the season untangling the mind. And, just coming back after a year of not recording, I remember, guys, I told you that I was feeling the pressure. I didn't know what to talk about. However, it became clear to me that it was about soul alignment. And what is soul alignment? Alignment of mind, body, and spirit is soul alignment. So now we're coming back for the physical wealth aspect of the season. But before I delve in, guys, I want to let you know that I've been investing in my well-being, and I hope you have too. You've been investing in your well-being. Just got back from a family holiday and it was amazing. I was able to catch up with family, catch up with friends. I was able to sleep a lot and I was able to take a break. Catch up on a little bit of fast food, a little bit too, not too much. Again, we're on holiday, so why not? If you're wondering, I was in the UK. And of course, since the last time you heard from me, I've been able to invest in my community and social well-being. And I'm very happy to bring a lot of these discussions or to share some of these discussions with you. So in the next 5 episodes, you're going to hear from physical trainers and you're going to hear from my friends who have achieved wonderful goals in their physical wealth. Right. And again, I want you to understand that we live in a psychic world and it's really important that we balance things on the physical end of things. And how do you invest in your physical wealth? It's about movement, it's about nutrition, and it's about rest. In this episode, I bring to you Lola. Lola Olowu is a good friend of mine, and she achieved quite an amazing feat. She went from a size 14 to a size 8 or 10, depending on the clothing, in about 11 months. So in this first episode 6, you're going to hear from her. And it's a 2-part episode. And the next episode, you're also going to hear from another friend of mine who also achieved a similar feat. So that you, at the start of this 2026, can achieve the same things. As always, peace and life's richest blessings. Enjoy the episode. I have a very important announcement to make for our 9-to-5 warriors. If you're a Nigerian worker and you're feeling the weight of corporate absurdities, to say the least, the per my last email wahala, or the mental health triggers of the office, then you need a tribe. Rants and Bants is our community, a driven platform created for you. It's a space to share your workplace experiences using humor, satire, and truth. It's about more than just complaining. It's about release, connection, and reform. Don't carry this corporate load alone. Join the conversation and rant and bant. See in the comments for a link to join the group. What are you most excited about right now?
Most excited about the level of growth I expect next year. By this time next year, that's December. Pretty much just because I know that if I pick whatever goal I have in mind and I just use my daily actions to make sure I'm working towards that goal, basically I will end up where I expect to end up. And I never kind of knew that before. So now it feels like the world is open to me because I can just pick any goal and just do the little things like every day. And I will get there. And I've seen that positively in like a lot of things I've achieved, especially with my like physical fitness, my weight, and my health this year. So next year I'm looking forward to really pushing it on like the business/career side.
Awesome. That's really good to know. And we spoke about this yesterday.
Yeah.
And I, for one, was and is totally inspired. As a matter of fact, I told my wife about it, and she's looking forward to this episode. So, babe, if you
awesome.
should be the first comment on this episode, by the way. So, I want you to tell us specifically about your physical journey this year, physical fitness journey.
Okay, so it actually started last year, and it started in kind of like an awesome quote that said, start on a Thursday, start at 5 p.m., start in November. Basically don't wait till New Year, New Me. And I embraced that. So I started officially in October, but really got serious from November. And I think for me, that was the first time I've actually lost weight on like a weight loss journey. Everyone has tried diets before. We all know now you eat salads and all of these things, but it never really works out. So this time, and I think I've lost about 10 kg. So I was from like a size, getting to 16, now back to like a 10, 12, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, and this is like the first time I've actually done something like this before. So I understand when people lose weight and they all of a sudden they're too proud, they have an attitude, because you know how hard you work to get here, right? So I started off in October, and I took advantage of the time that I had and I knew I would have, because work wasn't going to be so busy. And I started off thinking, how do I make this sustainable? And one thing for me was taking it in bits, right? And gradually. So graduating how intense it gets over time. I also picked a couple of things that would be kind of like my pillars on the journey. And so I'll talk about that as well. And then I think the quotes that tied it all together, I'm not sure I can swear, but it just says F your mood and follow the plan, right? It's a quote by Lola Olowu, who's someone I really love and I follow her. I think she's very inspiring. And what that meant for me was it's not really about what you're in the mood to do. And that for anyone that wants to lose weight or like have like a physical transformation of any kind, even if it's just health wise, you're never going to be in the mood like to do it, at least initially, right? You just have to do it anyway, because that's your commitment to yourself. And I made that commitment to myself that I needed to lose weight. Like actually, part of it was vanity driven, because I had a whole wardrobe of stuff I couldn't wear half of it. And I was like, I'm not buying new stuff. Like, I have to fit into these clothes. But I mean, again, who wants to be, 5'3" and overweight? Like, I have to pick a struggle. And so I was like, of course, I'm going to lose weight. And obviously for my health going forward, getting to the later part of my 30s, going to be in my 40s, you don't want to, it gets harder the older you get. So yeah, let's take it back to my pillars, right? So I picked having like a minimum number of steps, right, every day. And I started off with, I think maybe 5,000 or so, or about maybe 3,000. But I know that every odd week or 2 weeks or month, I would increase it. So at the peak this year, it got to 10,000 steps. But I know I started from 5,000, and then next month might be 5,500 and things like that. But that helped me essentially like build the habit of moving around. And if it involved waking up early to walk around, like my steps journey is very interesting. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it would involve like outdoor walking, right? And sometimes I'll easily meet my steps if I go to the gym, for instance, and I'm on the treadmill. But no day must pass that I don't meet my steps goal. And I had like an Oraimo watch that I started off with before I prayed for my Apple Watch to be manifested as a birthday gift. And that happened, by the way. I actually got like a gift. I was gifted an Apple Watch, and it's been the love of my life ever since. I'm just kidding, but I wear it all the time. Mm-hmm. So the watch helped me track my steps, and what you're going to hear a lot in this is whatever you manage or whatever you measure, you can manage. So I measured like my steps. I wasn't just guessing that, I really walked around today. And the interesting thing is, if I find that it's bedtime, I'm almost like getting to bed, and I check my steps. I have not met my steps. Like I stand up from bed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have to stand up. Like I'm sometimes already under the covers and everything is just right. The AC is on. And I check the watch and it's like, nah, you still have like maybe 1,000 or sometimes even 50 steps. And you're like, well, why now? But I actually stand up. I just walk around the house. I walk upstairs, downstairs, and when it's finally done, like I just hiss and go back to bed. But I know I don't have an option, right? Because that's my standard, and so I must meet that. So obviously, to try and avoid that, I make sure I check my steps before I, shut down for the day. But if I've not done it, I must walk around the house or the compound until I meet my steps. So steps is a good one. And then I also did fasting, intermittent fasting. I started off with, I think 13 hours, which is like the minimum. So essentially your last meal in a day, and it can be any time. So if you finish eating by 8 p.m, which, I try not to eat late at all. So usually my last meal is at the latest like 6 p.m. or so. And then what I do is I wait maybe 30 minutes or an hour, and then I mentally start my fast, right? From your last bites, essentially. And so 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning. So 8 a.m. is the earliest time you can eat, right? So I think for anyone starting their journey, that's also like a minimum, right, that you can do. Just make sure nothing but water gets into your mouth, right? And then gradually build up to like 15 hours, 16. I think at the peak I was at 18 hours as well. And that really helped because it just got my body used to the fact that sometimes we are digesting, we're building, we're rebuilding, we're repairing, we're fixing, and all that good stuff. So it's not just about eating all the time. So that really, really helped as well. And sometimes I'd even go as much as 24 hours or more, probably if I'm really busy and I lose track of time. What else?
I think that's already, there was a word you kept using yesterday, and as you spoke somewhere, I understood, and it's system and pillars. How are they related? Are there more pillars, or the pillars make up your system?
Okay, so the pillars are the things, like, think of it like the things you do, or right, the things that you want to incorporate into your life, right? And then you build systems around those. So I'll give an example, something like intermittent fasting. That's a pillar, right? And the system around that is, ideally I should try and make sure my last meal is like early enough, let's say maybe 6 p.m. or 5 p.m, such that the next day I can still eat. Like, I don't have to wait till like a long time before I can eat, right? And that doesn't make me get hungry, angry, and all of that. And then worst case scenario, if I can't meet up with that, then you have like a failure system as well. But it's just kind of like building. I'll give another example. Drinking water is another pillar, right? That helped me on this journey. Your body, I don't even need to advocate for water. It's obvious, right? Why it's good for you. And so I had said, I must do like 2.4 liters or 2 liters or something, basically. So the system around that is what helps me meet that goal at the end of the day. So when I wake up in the morning, I have to lay my bed. I can't leave my room until I lay my bed. And then I have to drink 330 liters, the small bottle of water, be first thing, right?
Before you leave the room.
So when I leave the room, I have to go downstairs and go and drink water, and then I can start doing like other stuff.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like it, right? First thing in the morning, that's not what you're in the mood to do.
There was a week in my life when everything just hit at once. My son had just been born. Money was tight. I got news I couldn't travel to see him. And in the same 72 hours, my dog died. I was drowning. I called my best friend and he said something that shifted me. Femi, you're still learning, you're still doing, you're still progressing, even if it feels like you're not. Those words became my anchor and they inspired a very special piece. This piece is the LDP bracelet, crafted with malachite for transformation, Dalmatian stone for grounding, and gold accents for clarity. At its center are the letters LDP, which stand for learning, doing, progressing. We have only 28 pieces available and each come with a 2-year breakage guarantee because your peace of mind should last. If you're on a journey of becoming, whether spiritually, mentally, or physically, this is your daily reminder that you are moving forward. Plus, it supports this podcast. If this speaks to you, DM me LDP to get yours.
So, I mean, that kind of creates, like, for me, my system is my pillar is the amount of water, right? And then I have a target, which is 2.4. Now, that target can shift depending on, like, what season of my life, right? Like, now it's a stressful time. So I put it to the barest minimum, which is like 1 liter. Most times I do more than that, right? But my pillar is water. My target is flexible, right? Depending on the season. But my systems are kind of like the things that make it work. So if I was on my, probably my peak, which is 2.4, I have mental cues. So that morning, first thing I have to do, because it helps me not have, like, towards the end of the day, have to drink like a whole lot of water. Then I also know before I get to the office, I must have done the second 330 bottle. Then before 12, I must have done another, 60 liter or whichever, or 60 cl. But just making sure that I have those, I'm always checking to see, have I drank the amount of water I'm supposed to drink for the time of day, right? Those are kind of like the systems I have in place. And I also know during lunch, I drink. Okay, when I work out, I also drink another bottle. So all of that helps me land the day at my target, right? And such that I don't have to scurry. Because the days I don't follow that system, you end up being almost halfway and the day is ending. And as I said, just like with my steps, whether or not it's bedtime, you drink that water. And what that does is you wake up by 2 a.m. and you have to pee. 100%. So it disrupts your sleep.
Yeah.
But when I wake up at 2, I'm like, well, it's your fault. I talk to myself, well, it's your fault. You knew when you were supposed to drink water and you didn't drink it. So whose fault? It's not my fault. Don't blame me. But that's the self-talk, right? So having those systems helps me make sure I meet my targets for whatever pillar in my life. I hope that has been clarified.
No, it's clear. I'm just thinking about my audience, right? And I'm trying to draw the line between what is special to you, like your uniqueness and your superpowers, versus what we are all facing, and if it's possible. Let me explain. It's your ability to do this system thing and to talk to yourself. Is this a strength of yours, or is it that anybody can do it? Because I set alarms to do all these things. The alarms give me a 50 to 60% success possibility. But then you're not talking about these external systems. You're saying, oh, if this, then that, and it's all happening mentally, which is a superbly high level of, let's just call it self-awareness, right?
Femi, I love this question that you asked me, because I think it's something I should have mentioned, which is also kind of the thing that's been a foundation for me. First of all, absolutely zero special about me. Nothing special about me, right? Everyone can do this. And you asked me a question while we're off, right? Say, what are some of the things I could talk about endlessly? And I mentioned spirituality, right? I'm a bit off in the sense that, my views are not quite the traditional or the mainstream. And I'll not go into that. But to some extent, right, my own personal understanding of when they say, God in you or Christ in you, or, whichever religion you might subscribe to, that's your listeners, there's a voice in you that you silence, right? That voice is the voice of your higher self. Let's just say God in you, right? Instructing you on what to do. And I always say this to people when they say, oh, sin is this, sin is that. I'm like, no, check the definition of sin in the Bible now. Sin is the good that you know you ought to do, you don't do. Like it doesn't, like other people in the Bible say, oh, various other types of acts are sins, but the core purest definition is something good that you want to do and you don't do, right? And that's when you start thinking, oh, your flesh, your this, and then things that stop you from doing what you actually want to do. And I looked at it, I was like, there is actually a system in me, right? Or there's a voice in me. If I listen to that voice, right, I do things I'm supposed to do, whether I'm in the mood or not. And so when I say mood, people that are religious would relate it to flesh, right? Which is, if you think it's about, oh yeah, doing quote unquote bad things. No, it's like when there is a good thing, there is a goal that you're supposed to do, you don't listen to that voice. You decide what you want to do. And so I subjected myself, that's my flesh, or my mood, my desires, my wants, or whatever, to that voice which says, this is what we are supposed to do. This is what we've set that we are going to do. And so we do it. So most times when I say I'm not in the mood, it's like, you can think of so many excuses. You're like, oh, but this, but that. But what this system, or this, I don't know what to call it now, so I don't confuse the audience, but what this whole journey taught me was, if I'm not literally about to like pass out, or I'm not in the hospital, there's nothing that should stop me. If I'm telling myself the truth, there's nothing that stops me from doing those minimum things that I set for myself. And so no matter the excuse I have, I know the truth. The truth is, I can do it and I won't die. Like, so, I can complain. I'm like, well, I'm not in the mood. I'm not this. But I'm like, well, get up, right? We go to the gym on Mondays. We do leg day on whatever day. Like, we do our minimum steps. So it's not up to me, right? A lot of people always say, a lot of people, you get upset when people disrespect you, or when, they don't do what you ask them to do or whatever. But when it comes to you, you can disrespect yourself now, right? Like, you can decide that you're not going to do what you say you want to do. But I had to be like, no, that's not right? Like, if I say something, I also respect myself. And if I say that is it, then why do I think it's okay to just dismiss and be like, okay, well, I'm not in the mood, so yeah, that goes in the water. So I think it's really just about having that, knowing that there's that inner you that is actually your higher self. It's your good. It's everything that you could be if you just exercise that self-control, which is you put your mood and your feelings and your everything, and you let that be, it's kind of like submissive or subservient to that higher voice that says, this is what we're meant to do, and, get up, do it. Kind of almost like a military sergeant. Like, I had to take it that seriously. Like, it's not like I'm like under command here, right? So I have to do it. And that kind of really helped me shape my mind around being disciplined and being consistent, because it wasn't up to me. As I said, is what is the goal we set. I was there, I set it with myself, and so I can't just wake up and decide I don't want to do it.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. Make sure you look out for the next episode, where we even have more about what it takes for you to achieve the best version of yourself. Peace. And life's richest blessings.
Thanks for listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show. Check out www.akinfemionadele.com for more info, articles, and ideas about how to boost your well-being.